that second free throw line. 22 free throws for him. Free throws.
Weak side, Reeves. Fouled again.
Free throws.
Going back.
And that second free throw line. And that second free throw line. 22 free throws for him. Free throws.
Weak side, Reeves. Fouled again.
Free throws.
Going back.
Guys' hands are reaching in, so look at Austin. He just feels it and just raises up. That's just
puts that zone in a situation where they got to decide who's coming to help, and there is
That could have easily gone the other way.
very easily.
Yeah, because he did.
look at him operate through traffic there, tucking that ball in, and it's Cardwell that
The Lakers
is a crafty ball handler, and there's just the up fake right there. Now, if you
our first look at him. Long, weak side, Reeves. Fouled again.
Another foul.
Doesn't matter. Reeves is shooting again. Ellis, by the way, is out of the game. Shape. Lakers in great shape.
And that second free throw line. 22 free throws for him. Free throws.
Again. The NBA right now is looking horrible when it comes to the depiction of what a sport is supposed to be. And you're trying to hold up the integrity of your game in your league. You're telling the whole world this is a fair game and everything is on the up and up. There's no problems here. And the way you do that is to put on a display like you've been doing since the season started. These officials in this start of this new season has been horrendous. And it's not just the Lakers, but mainly it happens in Laker games. And it needs to be called into question, because if we're talking about fixed games and the government is looking into players faking injuries, why no one is talking about the Lakers? They talk about them every day. I sat there and watched and listened to Lakers fans cheer 51 points for Austin Reeves. Not once were they calling out the ridiculous foul calls that were made in the game, and how could Austin Reeves shoot 22 free throws in the game like he's a perennial Hall of Fame basketball player. Hall of Fame basketball players don't even get that. You're playing against all-star talent on the other side, NBA All 75, and the only person that's getting the accolades is Austin Reeves? If Austin Reeves played on the Wizards, you wouldn't even know who he was. Let's be honest. Not to take anything from his hard work and earning and getting on the team, but let's be realistic. They're trying to make Austin Reeves a second option superstar player. And because Luka is now going to be out a week, and you already don't have LeBron James this early in the season, and the bets were already made and in, so 9 hours prior to the game, Luka's not playing and he's going to be out a week. This late scratch on a weekend led them to have to, we got to figure out a way to keep the Lakers winning a game that they shouldn't have won. Had no business winning. So what they do, and by the way, I bet it on the Lakers. Bet it on the Lakers to win this game. So I don't want people to think I lost money, so I'm upset. No, I'm upset by the way this game was officiated. I'm upset about a lot of the officiating that we've seen. This free throw disparity in the NBA is crazy at this level. They did it in the Warriors game. The Warriors shot about 50 free throws. Jimmy Butler against the Lakers shot about 20 free throws almost. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. The free throw differential has been crazy, but normally we see this with the Lakers to help carry this team along. And if we're doing that, we're rigging games. We're rigging games. If you considerably doing that, you're rigging games. I should be on the phone right now with damn Cash Patel, and I say, hey, look, watch this game last night with the Kings and Lakers. Who you finna call in the office now? Because Adam Silver need to be right there right now on a plane sitting in that chair getting grilled. Could let me come in there. I know just the questions to ask him. Because you robbing the fans. That's who you robbing. That's who you ripping off. We pay our money and our attention to see the game, not to see free throws, not to see you push an agenda because you want people to line up where you want them to line up. So it all needs to be called into question. Officials are how they control the game. They use officials to control the game. It's always been that way. Nothing has changed. But they act like nothing and everybody just moves on. And it's like, okay, well, that happened. Let's just wait till the next game. That's been the main problem for years. The NBA needs to put a stop to it, but they're not going to do it because this is their benefit. This is what...
Outrageous. What happened tonight, this is completely BS. This is shame. Shame for the referees, shame for the league to allow this. 23 free throws for them, and we get 2 free throws in the fourth quarter. I understand respect for all stars and all of that, but we have star players on our team as well. How's possible that Scotty Barnes, who is all-star caliber player in this league, he goes every single time to the rim with force and trying to get to the rim without flopping and not trying to get foul calls. He gets 2 free throws for the whole game. How's that possible? How are you going to explain that to me? They had to win tonight? If that's the case, just let us know so we don't show up for the game. Just give them a win. But that was not fair tonight. Outrageous.
And this has to happen at the end of an NBA basketball game. So this has been going on for years of carrying teams that seem to have LeBron James on the team. Who the league spends over $20 million a year, normally they would, in marketing for him. Now, that has been reduced dramatically. And, he's older. So that's naturally what you do. You phase them out. But what you're starting to realize now is that the whole scope of what people think of as reality or not reality, that's done. Yeah, it's corrupt to the core. and people are sick of it. I'm definitely sick. We're still doing this. I mean, you still being corrupt at this level? Hadn't you learned anything right now? You're wondering why the numbers are low? You know why the people, it's the fans, it's the media. Take accountability. It's the game, the gameplay. People don't want to see 45 free throws for one team, and another team can't get to the free throw line when they clearly deserve it because you don't want to see them win. We want to see the best team win. We want to know who's the best. Let them play. But if that doesn't fit your agenda, you try to control and manipulate the game. When you manipulate the content, we have product that's ridiculous to look at. Then you want the media to sell BS to the public. If you do that, you've dampened and watered down the actual product. You altered the game. You did the ultimate cardinal sin that David Stern said don't do. You could tweak a little bit, but do not ruin the integrity of the game. But see, you don't know anything about the game, Adam Silver. Your problem is that you don't respect the integrity of the game because you don't know anything about it. You came in this NBA in 1992, and you was in charities and building foundations with charity. You're a businessman. You knew nothing about the sport of basketball. You didn't even play it. So you knew nothing about the game. You don't know anything about a call. David Stern knew defensive sets, offensive sets. He played the sport of basketball. He knew the game. He could sit there and watch the game and tell what every player is doing. He was a basketball man put in that position. So if the government's going to come in and they really want to come in and fix things up and not make a show out of just 3-4 guys, and you blaming players for illegal gambling, and you talking about players are flopping and taking losses, you need to look into these referees. What happened with the Donnelly situation? Didn't you not learn from that? Donnelly is out here still doing interviews. He hasn't gone away. And what about Scott Foster? In his investigation, he talked to Donnelly the entire time. They had, once the accusations was made, they had 136 phone calls back and forth. So the extender is on there. And if you're on my Patreon, you already know there's a list. And I told you the names of all these people because I didn't want to make them public. But yes, Scott Foster is on that list. Right along with you, Adam Silver. You're on that list. And what did I say? Congress is going to call you to the stand. And they did just that. I said it because I already knew it was going to happen. It was too big. You're going to have to explain to them how your investigation and the government's investigation didn't align. What was the process in your investigation and what, differs from their process that they were able to find these things and you weren't? So you're going to have to go in and explain it because what could end up happening is that you could lose sports gambling. And that's billions of dollars, billions that the NBA sees. And that's going to really hurt. This is why ESPN now for the game, you didn't see no ESPN bet anywhere. No, the Penn Entertainment Company didn't do that. Ooh. See, it hurts that I have information. You see, these other people, they just talk about the game because that's all they know. They can't tell you about the business that's going on inside it. They're not informative. They just rant to get your view and your attention, but they have no information. And this is the difference from people that comes here and people who go elsewhere. Now, Penn Entertainment made a deal with ESPN so they can make ESPN bet, so that they can get people into their sports gambling. So ESPN owns their own gambling site. Now, here's the conflict of interest. You have active NBA players on these shows and on your programming, and they can't personally promote gambling because they're actively playing, but you have the ads in there on your talk shows, on your first takes, Stephen A's picks, this person's picks, and they're there on the show talking. So it's like they're endorsing it. So it's the gray area that they're trying to say, oh, well, they're not really promoting it. They just happen to be there. So they get on podcast shows that are promoted by gambling sites like Underdog Fantasy and et cetera, et cetera. You saw Steph Curry on there, and Underdog Fantasy is stuff, is there. Underdog. So it's like, wait a minute, but Steph Curry's an active NBA player. What is he with Underdog Fantasy? Like what are they trying to say? So for the consumers, there is a gray area. And if the government finds that the NBA was covering up and was a part of this cheating scandal, they will be stripped of their gambling privileges completely. There's no gambling, and no one will be able to bet on NBA games. Not legally. So you'll be somewhere finding a bookie. Now, where does that bring us? It's a large standard, baby. Because everyone could see that game was so bad as far as officiating, that if you look at the disrespect that went on, yeah, it's just tough to take. Yeah, well, that takes the passion out of it.
Doug, story of the night seems to be the 46 free throw attempts by the Lakers. Just what do you have to do with your guys to get them to not be so handsy? And I'm not sure to make of the disparity in free throw attempts.
46, you said? I mean, we got to play defense without fouling, obviously. But there are two teams on the floor. So it's wild. It's wild. It's wild.
Coach, obviously it's a frustrating defeat, but what positives can you take away from a game like this? Because you guys shot the ball well, did a lot of good things, but the free throws kind of messed everything up.
I don't know that you'll ever win a game, ever in life. Free throws like that. Not since I was a little kid playing basketball. Now with two teams playing hard, yeah. I'll go back and look at the film. I'm sure there's something positive in there. It's a shame.
Doug, does it, you talked about defending without fouling, and it, it has kind of been a thing here the last couple of seasons. Just at first glance, like, did it just look like there was a lot of little touchy stuff, and maybe there is some?
I mean, there's a lot of touchy stuff going both ways. Like there's not one team on the floor. There's two teams on the floor.
Exactly.
Like, so, yeah. Are there some of those that are obvious? Absolutely. You grabbing somebody, all these, like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, he's devastated.
I don't know that that's wild.
Doug, obviously no moral victories, but
nope.
to see Zach with another 30-point game, that's got to be an encouraging sign for you guys to see him.
Listen,
starting the season.
Zach is playing at a really, really high level. I mean, I'm not even really concerned with the points. Like, he's competing on the defensive end, which is like, I mad love. He's from my town, so the utmost respect for Zach going out and competing. Like 32, like that's what he do. So that's really not that surprising. The defensive commitment that he continues to show is to be commended. Massive amount of respect for Zach on that end of the floor because, he's that's how you win, and he's committed to trying to win. And I nothing but love. That's big time.
When you guys started doubling Austin towards the end there, what did you think of your execution?
I have to go back and look at it. I mean, he hit the pocket. The point is get the ball out of his hands. So, he made some shots where some crazy ones, and once you get hot like that, it's whatever. You can hit shots, but hitting the pocket and somebody else beating us is totally that's part of what you're doing when you put two on the ball. When you put two on the ball, they got an advantage on the backside, and then you just have to scramble around. So he shot 22 free throws. Yeah.
I'm telling you, everybody's
Dennis,
upset.
the story of the night to those of us watching seemed to be the free throw disparity. What did you make of that? Was that you guys being too handsy? Was it just one of those nights?
Yeah, I think we just got to do a better job of not fouling the jump shooter. But if we're in the bonus, just being more disciplined and don't foul when they in the bonus.
How much did it feel like some of those fouls kind of maybe took you guys out of a lot of things that you were trying to do on both ends of the floor?
Yeah, I mean it's tough when they're shooting 46 free throws for the game. We want to play fast, we want to push the pace, but if they getting into free throws, they got set defense, so it was pretty tough today. That's on us.
And just what did you see? Austin obviously got hot for them. Just what were you seeing that got him so effective?
Yeah, I mean, Luka and Bron is out, and he's the third guy, and got the ultimate green light. We should have done a better job of containing him, maybe blitzing him. But, I mean, he had a hell of a game. Sometimes you just got to say that he, had a great game. And,
Yeah, he's trying not to get fined. So, as you can hear, it's not just me, and it's not just this one game. And it's not trying to take away from Austin Reeves' career 51-point game. No, it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. This is not basketball. This is trash. When you try to sit there and push another team because this is the agenda, you need this team to win because we market this team. Even though the team might be inferior, we can't let them lose to a low market team. It doesn't matter. If that low market team is great and people are watching it and they're seeing good basketball, you promote good basketball. That's only going to enhance your team and enhance your league. The Golden State Warriors wouldn't be anything. They're the number one grossing team in basketball, more than the Lakers. Their net worth is way bigger than the Lakers. By like what, $1 billion. So if you're telling me that the number one team is the Golden State Warriors, which just got hot in 2014, 2015, 10 years ago, and they've already have a net worth more than the Los Angeles Lakers. What is that saying about your league? That in 10 years, a team that was a small market team came into one of the most marketing teams in the history of this game. How? Through basketball, fools. Not you, them, the league. You didn't create and market the Golden State Warriors and say, oh, they were great. No, their basketball play was great, and you jumped on board. You didn't give them the name the Splash Brothers. The Bay did that. You jumped on board. Steph Curry and what he was doing for the league, putting on a show every night. Y'all got on board. And that small market city created a phenomenon that you guys tried to manipulate and control by sabotaging them to get LeBron James a championship in 2016. That I knew you were going to do, and I called it as soon as the Warriors won in 2015. I said, they're going to run this back 3 times. Didn't know that you would be stupid enough to do it 4. But this is Adam Silver running the show. Well, I don't think it's a conspiracy when it's actually happening right in front of your eyes. It's not a conspiracy when you see Austin Reeves shoot 22 free throws in a game. It's not a conspiracy when, as a team, they shoot 46 and the other team shoot 18 for an entire game. It's no longer a conspiracy. And this has been happening all throughout the NBA for certain games. The free throw differentials are crazy. The calls they're making are insane. NFL as well. Mm-hmm. Well, the thing is, no, you're never going to lose confidence from a gambler because you think that gamblers don't know that the games are fixed. Gamblers know that the games are fixed. You're just hoping that you bet with the fix. That's all you're betting right now. You're not betting on let the best team win. We already know it's rigged. We didn't need this investigation to know that it's rigged. But if they're investigating, they need to clean house. They need to go all through that. If you want to make it competition, you want to say this sport is not competition, that this is just a business or whatever, and they're fixing and rigging the games, you need to go in there and you need to open the books. They need to have the FBI raid the offices in New York and go in there and say, we want to see these books. We want Adam Sandler in here. I want to know his damn salary for the last 5-6 years. I want to see his books going back for every year he's been the commissioner. Of course, it's not about I hate LeBron and the Lakers. You see, everybody was like, oh, you hate LeBron and the Lakers. I don't really hate the Lakers. I don't like LeBron. Like, I have no problem with Luka Doncic, but I don't like LeBron. So it's not because the Lakers won the game. The Golden State Warriors game, the Warriors won, and I was like, that was insane for Jimmy Butler to shoot that many free throws. It was crazy. As a team, they shot way too many free throws. Jimmy had about 18 free throws himself that night against the Lakers. Doing what Jimmy Butler do, get to the free throw line. So it was typical. But it's people get caught up in fandom and they only see it one way. They only see it when their team is getting the shaft. And they say, oh, well, my team is getting the shaft. I'm not a Sacramento Kings fan. I'm like, but when I see Austin Reeves and I'm watching the game and I'm seeing Austin Reeves and for the fouls they're calling, it's like, why? Why are you mucking up the game? Like if I had spent money to go there to watch the game and bring my family and we spent money to go watch the game, this was terrible to watch. You see one team trying to fight against a corruption. They're making plays. So I'm like, man, Sacramento's out here playing. And then you look at the Lakers and you're like, oh, Jesus Christ. Are they going to call another foul? And it just slows the game down. Can't no one get in a rhythm. Players can't stay on the court. They fouled Ellis out because he's one of their best defenders, even though they're trying to trade for him with the Kings. Yeah, this is doing good for that trade. So I guess the NBA is punishing them for not doing the trade with Ellis. They want to trade Dalton Connect for Ellis. And then the Kings is like, okay, well, we're going to need extra draft picks or give us Bronny James. That was just a joke. And, obviously they're not getting rid of Bronny James. So Dalton Connect and some draft picks are the realistic deal for Ellis. Ellis is up for free agency at the end of the year, and the Kings are not going to sign him. That's the way it's looking. So the Lakers are interested in him because now Ellis can guard, he can defend, and they don't have any defense. And, Vanderbilt's supposed to be the guy, but he's just a walking 6 fouls. He's lost a lot of what he used to be. He's not a good shooter. And he's nothing like Ellis. Ellis is a better version of him. So that's why you need that on the court at all times. Now, when they start saying we need to remove people from the game and things of that nature, you're seeing a microcosm of people coming along and they're doing, pretty much doing their own thing. But when somebody comes in and shoots 46 free throws, it's deflating to the other team.
Seen or been in a game like that where you give up that many free throws and only shoot 18?
No. It's crazy. 46 free throws? Or 18? 18, right? Yeah. We had the bag for most of those. Nah.
Hey, DeMar, speaking on the free throws, how does that mess up you guys' rhythm when you got to, line up at the free throw line all game?
It's deflating, especially when we're going out there trying to play hard, trying to compete, and it seemed like we getting called for fouls, but on the other end, when we try to be aggressive, nothing don't go our way. It's kind of deflating at times, especially when you're trying to get it going. You have guys in and out of the rotation because foul trouble. It's hard to get a rhythm because you're putting them on the line, giving them a rhythm, so it's definitely tough.
DeMar, just kind of looking at that, is it an issue of the way you guys are guarding, just the way the game maybe was being called?
I don't know. 46 free throws is crazy. Sorry, 18. I don't know. Got to go back and look, but like I said, 46 free throws is crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
What did you see? Obviously, career night for Austin. Where did he hurt you guys the most? Kind of in that second
free throw line. 22 free throws for him. Free throws.
Doug.
Now, right, everybody knows that this is crazy, but you listen to Laker fans and they raving about Austin Reeves' performance. Not one of them are focusing on he shot 22 free throws. 22 in a game. That isn't common. This is a guy that averaged maybe 5, maybe 6. And he gets 22, all because LeBron and Luka ain't there. We can't let the team start losing early because people will lose hope because LeBron's out, and now, surprisingly, Luka's out for like a week because of some leg contusion and a little pinky finger thing. So he's going to miss a week. We just played the DeRozan post-game interview. So everyone could see and understand exactly what this is. This is the same thing that we were talking about. We went through this with Donnelly. We went through this whole process, and now it's getting
Doug, the story of the night seems to be the 46.
Keep bringing up the disparities in free throws. But everybody's mystified by the situation at hand. Like we all right now are we all root for different teams. You probably root for a team. I root for another team. The Pistons, everybody. We all root for our teams. But we can all say 46 free throws is crazy. That's insane. If the Pistons shot 46 free throws and we got Cade Cunningham shooting 22 free throws in the game, I'd be like, yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I'd be glad my team won, but there's no way I couldn't acknowledge that that's insane. You know, that's just being a realistic human being. There's no way in hell that's even possible. You know, so it's not even... They're not even making it. See, the thing is you're going to rig the game, at least you better make it believable. See, before it was, starting to get away from them. And when it started to get away from them, that was it. Well, the whole league, they're part of the league. So, yeah, it starts with the referees. That's who controls the game. That's who's on the headsets. So they're running it just like the casino, like the dealers, the card dealers, who's ever dealing in the game, they're talking to the people in the booth, and that's rigged. So they're rigging the whole system. I'm going to use this analogy because it makes the most sense. Right? If 3 people don't like LeBron James, and this is just how it works, right? Y'all know I don't like LeBron. So some people might come and see my YouTube page because they know they don't like LeBron either. And they hear that I make a video and I'm telling the truth about LeBron. They come over. Then you see another YouTube creator. He doesn't like LeBron for the reasons he do. And another one for his own personal reasons. And that same person might watch all 3 of our videos because they also don't like LeBron. So they might watch 3 different creators who make YouTube videos who's saying something about LeBron that they agree with because their goals align. And because we might all align on one subject, don't mean that we're all the same. We might have 3 different reasons as to why we don't like LeBron. I don't like LeBron because I think he's an embarrassment to the sport. His entitlement, his narcissistic behavior, he's lowered the game down on the standards, and he does not possess any basketball skills to memory that I would even put him in the category that they put him as in esteem as the greatest player ever. And I'm just like, no, he isn't. Based on these things alone and all the politics he plays behind the scenes, personally, he's just overbearing. He's too much. And it's time for him to go. It's really time for him to go. And that's my whole take on him, really. Don't like him. Now, the other guy might not like him because he's a Michael Jordan fan. And Jordan to him is the GOAT. And everybody else is saying LeBron is better than Jordan. It upsets this guy. So he's going to show everybody that LeBron isn't anything, but Michael Jordan is the GOAT. So that person don't like LeBron because he got Jordan as his GOAT. And then people saying that LeBron's better, that's his reason for not liking LeBron. Now, the other guy, he might not like LeBron because it's profitable for him. It's good views for his channel. He's going to make clickbait with LeBron. He's going to say the same things everybody else is saying about why he don't like LeBron, but it gives him hits and views. So he can really care one way or another, as long as he's getting the traffic and the energy off of it. So you have three people who don't like LeBron, but have three different reasons as to why they don't like LeBron. But the commonality is we don't like LeBron, so we all get put in the same pit, not realizing that each one is individuals and have their own reasons for doing so. And that's not looked at the same way. So if you can understand that analogy, then you'll understand the thought process of the fan. See, again, I just explained it to him in the simplest of terms. I specifically said, this is the reason why I don't like him. I totally gave you a whole breakdown of why I don't like the person. And you turn right back around and put me in group number 3. Hits and views. I don't break the internet with LeBron news at all. Yeah, all you got to do is you go to my page and click my most popular videos. You don't see LeBron. And see, that's all I say. This is the misconstruedness of what's going on. People just say things without even trying to research it or find it out for themselves. I can see if they went on my channel, it's very easy. And you click on the most popular videos, and then you don't see LeBron James' name up there. You go, oh, it's not what he's popular for. So hits and views, no. Because believe me, I don't do things for hits and views. I hope the people get to see it. That's my whole thing. When I make videos, it's what I think. It's my opinion. It's my thoughts. I say it as clear as day. I'm about as transparent as anybody you've ever seen. So I'm like, I tell you exactly what's going on, and that's that. I did my truth behind videos, and people just have a knack to not believe you. That's just what it is. Don't nobody know you. Who are you? How do you know that? Nobody know you because they don't know anybody. They don't know anything. So they immediately turn to a negative position of saying you don't know. But yet you've seen me in different private settings with many superstars, many celebrities, been at many events across this globe. But yet nobody knows. Yet nobody's coming out disputing all of my truth behind videos except for people who don't know anything. So it is what it is. You take it and you go with stride. Because I've had some videos I made, and I was like, oh, this one's going to be a monster. And I was just thinking like, man, if I make this video, it's going to take off. And then it didn't do pretty much. I go, wow, okay. Guess I don't know for what reason, but it just didn't do anything. It just got to this point and just kind of died off. Then you see other points are being made, and it's not normally good. But when you see other points that's being made, it's not usually making a lot of sense. So you start going through different avenues. Mm-hmm. Right. The video that you least expect would take off. I would make this, so I make videos on what I feel, and the video I like or the video I feel the most strongly about takes off. And I go, whoa, didn't see that coming, because I didn't. I didn't plan it, nothing. Just take right off. You go, wow, that one did it? And this video didn't do it? So you never know what video is going to really take off and what's not. You know, normally I talk about what's going on in the world. That's right. Always been truthful. Always give back. Always doing things to help people out. I was like, that's what I do because that's the way I came up. Now, here's this person. Not like us. I know you, see, no. I also know you're a hater. You're mad because Hillbilly Kobe dropped 50 and he learned from the real 23. Well, Hillbilly Kobe is a Kobe guy. That's why he's Hillbilly Kobe. What would he learn from LeBron James? How to get to the free throw line? Jesus Christ. Just say you want attention, man. You got on the stage, so you got your attention. But Jesus Christ. Again, so 22 free throws for Hillbilly Kobe was warranted. No, 5 or 6. Yeah, if you gave him 5 or 6, cool. But if you got 5 or 6, you don't win the game. And for some reason, the NBA needed the Lakers to win that game. We're early in the season. I think all sports need to be investigated. The NBA, the NFL, all of them need to be investigated. Because it's terrible right now. It's awful. Well, Rasheed Wallace is, look, nobody's
with the referees, that's why I was just saying, as I got older, I didn't have to do all the cussing or come with attitudes. No, I'm just hitting them with logic now. Like, oh, so y'all got that email last night, huh? Oh, then they flare all up. What are you talking about? Oh, yeah, I know about y'all email shit. No, let's not forget that. I know about that. But man, look, it's been an ongoing
you're
war.
referring to emails from the league with, this is what we discussed in Whistleblower, but emails from the league that are telling the referees to officiate the game in a certain way and against certain players.
Yeah.
And so you were cognizant of that at the time.
Oh, yeah, I was very, because to me, I saw it. And he'll tell you what I always used to say. Y'all making it too obvious.
I thought he was crazy.
Y'all making it too obvious, too blatant. Y'all making it too obvious. Yeah. I said, y'all want the fans to be able to watch the games, but y'all sitting up here calling a lot of these bullshit calls is doing what? Slowing down the game. Y'all want the fans to see the dunks and all that shit. Yeah. So call that shit both ways or don't call that shit at all.
Yep. Call it both ways or don't call that it at all.
With the referee.
That's the point right there. Call it both ways or don't call it at all. They threw the man out. They threw the man out of the game. Oh, gosh. They threw a man out of a game for staring at a referee and not saying a word. He kept looking at me, so I threw him out. literally threw Rasheed Wallace out of a game for looking at a referee.
Laugh at one of the great ejections. Figure it out. If you finals and a sheed moment with our own Smitty.
Time out, LA. Whack! Get out! Get away from me, Steve. Get away from me, Steve. He didn't say a word. Technical foul, Wallace. He's gone. No, not right. I asked him 3 times to stop staring at me. Try to intimidate me. I'm done. He's gone. I asked him. I already told Mike twice before to have him stop staring and try to intimidate me. He did it again. He's gone.
Now at least I know what to say when we get on set. Get away from me, Steve.
Stop trying to intimidate people, man.
Why'd you go to Carolina?
So Rasheed Wallace was thrown out of the game. He was thrown out of the game because of a simple fact. He stared at a referee and he said, I told him to stop staring at me. He's trying to intimidate me. That's a technical foul. He didn't say one word and was thrown out for staring at a referee. First time in history we've ever seen that. He didn't say one word and was thrown out. That was a playoff game of major implications, and the referees in the NBA had had enough of Sheed. Then they trade him to the Pistons and he win a championship. How about that? Only time a ref got in trouble is when they threw Tim Duncan out, ejected Tim Duncan for laughing and clapping on the sideline. Dale Garrison decided to throw Tim Duncan out, and Tim Duncan was going to take him to court and sue him because he was costing him money and he didn't do anything. He was going to file a complaint. The NBA took care of that immediately. And then he apologized. That's the first time a referee apologized for his behavior. Oh, yeah. Follow Welcome to HDII TV. Definitely do that. Definitely follow all the great channels that's out there. Kwame Brown Bus Life and Kwame Brown Bus Life 2.0, as well as myself. Always bring up other channels like Sports Talk with Jose Rodriguez. They be having great panels over there. The reason why they say, well, if the sport is rigged, why do you like watching the games? I like the sport of basketball. So I'm going to watch basketball. It don't have to be NBA. I watch college basketball. I watch high school basketball. I like the sport of basketball. So it's just, that's what it is. There's nothing crazy about it. People often try to complicate the situation. Like it's got to be something else to the equation. I've never been that guy, man. I've been a guy that is pretty much on the up and up. You know, my entire life I've been that. No. If anybody feel that the NBA is on the up and up, then that's just you. We just know that there is corruption in this league, and we just want it to stop. We want to get to basketball. And everybody's looking at the arrest, and it's bigger than that. I mean, when we going to get to the facts? When we going to get to the fact that there was a van that was already painting the OKC Thunder as the NBA champions going into a game 7 to decide who's going to be the NBA champions? The game hadn't even been played yet, and they already have the championship buses already painted with the championship. They didn't do that in Indiana. So it's already rigged, and they know what it is. Right. If you could say Terry Rozier faked an injury, how can you say that? How can you tell a player his foot isn't hurt? Are they going to investigate Luka Doncic's thigh contusion? And his pinky finger?
Imagine you're making $26.6 million and you're more.
Tim Donnelly is going to tell you the truth. The former NBA referee is going to tell you the truth about what's going on.
Excited about a $200,000 payout, and your name is Terry Rozier. Imagine you're Chauncey Billups, a finals MVP, a head coach, and you're working with the Italian mafia on poker games, helping them over the years win $7 million. Think about that. Imagine you're Terry Rozier. You decide to step out of the game 9 minutes into it, and then that's one of the ways. I just don't feel like playing. He just steps out and goes out and, is stepping out of the game to help a friend win the game. Rob, do you have the clip of Cash Patel announcing this?
Yes.
So here's how it started, the bombshell, and then we're going to go to Tim Donnelly here in a minute. Go ahead, Rob. Play this clip with Cash Patel.
Such as Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, and Terry Rozier were taken into custody today. Former, current NBA players and coaches. What you don't know is that this is an illegal gambling operation and sports rigging operation that spanned the course of years. The FBI led a coordinated takedown across 11 states to arrest over 30 individuals today responsible for this case, which is very much ongoing. Not only did we crack into the fraud that these perpetrators committed on the grand stage of the NBA, but we also entered and executed a system of justice against La Casa Nostra to include the Bonanno, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchese crime families.
Okay, so by the way, it's not every day the FBI director, Cash Patel, comes out and explains what's going on with the NBA. This is right after the NBA had a good opening day, and the timing of it is kind of interesting. You have an opening day when, what's his name? Wemby has an incredible opening day, 40 points, 15 rebounds, 3 blocks. Good things are going on. And then next thing you know, boom, this is the news. Tim, great to have you on the podcast. Tim.
Now, with that being said, what did he just say that was very, very telling right there? He says, the very good opening The NBA opened at like a 7.9 with Michael Jordan lead in and everything. That was a 7.9, which means that with that 7.9, that was the highest rating the NBA has had for opening day since 2010. So it was already riding the ship. The numbers were doing great. They got off to a great start, then boom, they got hit with this. Now, there are people who are going to make their, interpretations. That's going to happen. You're going to see people make their it's always going to get put on a scale to be looked at. You're going to always have people to tell you exactly what you're doing, what you're not doing, the whole nine. No, I don't see it that way. He said, makes sense now. The FBI messed up the Charlie Kirk investigation because they were busy with the NBA. Oh, man.
Can you hear us? I can't hear. I think you may be muted. There you go.
That's the former
Can you hear us?
referee, Tim Donnelly. But
You're still muted. You're still.
No, I heard him over there.
No, that's Jake speaking.
Oh.
Tim, you may be still muted. Let's see, because that phone has got the red's got to remove from it.
How about now?
Oh, we
Yes,
hear you
sir.
now.
There
we
he
go.
is.
So, Tim, how you doing?
I'm doing terrific. Good morning, guys.
Fantastic.
Morning.
Fantastic. Appreciate you for making the time. So, what do you think about what's going on here?
I think we're just at the tip of the iceberg. I think when you talk about arrests being made by the FBI, I think the guys that are arrested are going to sit down and, be scared to death with what they're facing, and they're going to start to cooperate, and they're going to tell the FBI everything they know, and this thing is going to spread like wildfire, and you're going to find out that this is a lot bigger than it is right now, and it's pretty big.
Tim, why do you think this is why 2 days before this announcement is made, or even 1 day before this announcement is made, Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA, was on Pat McAfee? You think that was intentional?
Absolutely. I think he was trying to, get ahead of the fire a little bit and talk about that they need to get gambling under control. And I think that he's going to continue to try to figure out a way to, to put a lid on this. But it's going to be very difficult for him because I think this is widespread. I think it's going to be very damaging to the league. And, I just received a text message from one of the FBI agents that worked my case. And he basically said that they're not going to be able to cover this up like they covered up my case.
What do you mean by that? So what's the difference between this case and your case?
I think the David Stern was able to basically put a lid on it and paint me as one bad apple, the only guy involved, and nobody else did anything but me. And, we're going to move on from it. The FBI said that there was 6 or 7 other people that they wanted to indict, and this got shut down from the highest level. And then I find out, after I go to jail that, a guy by the name of Greg Andres, who was the head of the Eastern District of New York, took a job at a law firm and all of a sudden got all the outside legal counsel work for the NBA. So, it was a situation where David Stern really ran that whole investigation, and it got shut down by the highest level people in regard to other people being involved.
Tim, so this is a bigger question for me. One of the stories was where is it Damon Jones, I think, was that gave a, and maybe I'm saying this incorrectly, but one of the players that was a teammate of LeBron.
Now, put this into perspective, because I want you to understand this clearly. When you start talking about LeBron James and the whole scenario, again, all of this cheating scandal happened and got light due to the Sacremento Kings Lakers series, when they clearly got cheated because they didn't want the Sacramento Kings, who was a low market team, again, against the Los Angeles Lakers. And here we are now talking about the same thing. Donnelly was the referee in there. They had other referees as well that made some horrendous calls in those games that was so criminal. And it's like, wow, because they needed the Lakers to win. So once again, we're not getting the best versus the best and getting the results. You know, it's like, look, this team earned the right to go, and they was cheated out of it. And that team could have possibly won an NBA championship. What that would have been like, you would have had your first Golden State Warriors right there in Sacramento. And it opens up your league. The NFL, even though it's corrupt, you get to see teams you never thought in a million years get as far as the Super Bowl and win. You know, Carolina Panthers was in the Super Bowl. You had the Jacksonville Jaguars go to an AFC championship game. You saw the Bengals in a Super Bowl just a few years ago. The small teams can make it. You know, this is why the fans believe in it. They start expanding the team. They're not doing Eagles, Chiefs, Eagles, Chiefs, Eagles, Chiefs, Eagles, Chiefs. You're not doing that 3-4 years in a row. It's like, okay, now come on now. What are we saying here? You know, Adam Silver ran that 4 years in a row. Golden State went to 5 straight NBA finals. 5 straight in the West. That's half a decade. What does that teach your audience? It teaches your audience that no one else matters. We're going to keep going 4 and 5 times because no one matters. Right. Only focus on 2 teams. That's it. That's what we want you to focus on. 2 teams all year long. So your league's going to suffer when those 2 teams fall down. Then what's going to happen? And that's exactly what happened. They got good success on the finals because everybody was Golden State out. And then you got LeBron in Cleveland. But after that's over, they're just going to follow LeBron. Nobody's going to care about Cleveland. So now that's done, and those ratings was hot. Now you want to put LeBron with the Lakers. LeBron's going to boost the Lakers up. No, nobody really cared about the Lakers with LeBron because they're only going to care about LeBron. But you put all the marketing into him, and then he's just injured. He's old, and you're trying to use him to boost up your league, and you got Golden State. So you're boosting 2 teams in the West when Golden State is your meal ticket. They go back to the finals. They play the Raptors. They don't win it that year, but still, they were a much better team. And it was a lot of teams in the West that they just couldn't BS with the Lakers. Lakers had nothing but a scrapyard over there. So they got all the players LeBron wanted to get on the team. And look where they are. I know y'all been tearing them up in the chat. But like Donnelly says, this is just the tip of the iceberg. David Stern was able to cover it up and work with the feds. Like I said, he's a real commissioner. He knew exactly, I'm not going to destroy my league. Nope. He was a lone wolf. It was just one-man operation. Everybody know it wasn't. So he cut a deal with the NBA. The NBA let him make his movie. It got push. They even let him use the NBA logos in the movie and everything. The Tim Donnelly movie. And they let it go out. They just use him. Oh, he's just a lone wolf. Everybody else is good. So if they investigate them, I want them to investigate that basketball itself. I want the NBA rims investigated. I want the microchips. I need to talk to Cash Patel. Mm-hmm.
Gave word that he may not be playing the game to a guy on the outside. Do you think this is going to be tied to some NBA superstars as well? And Chauncey is a superstar. He's an NBA champion, finals MVP. He's absolutely a superstar, a head coach. But do you think some major superstar names could be tied or linked to this case here?
Absolutely. I mean, when you talk about wire fraud, that's a law that is can be applied to many different things. And if you're just calling your buddy and telling them that somebody's not playing, even if it's a nonchalant comment, you're transferring that over state lines, that's wire fraud. And that's what I was charged with. So, yeah, there's no doubt in my mind some of these star players might have been, saying something to their buddies back home that they weren't playing, or one of the other guys weren't playing, or they weren't 100%. And bets were placed and money was made. I think that, sometimes people with power and money feel that the rules don't apply to them and they're not going to get caught. And you get a little bit cocky like I did and think that you're going to get away with something like this. And you just don't. You eventually always get caught.
What is the approach?
So right there you hear an entirely different approach as to the situation at hand. So what he's saying is LeBron James can be charged with wire fraud. If LeBron James told Damon Jones he's not playing, and Damon Jones makes a bet saying, I just talked to dude, he's not playing tonight, that's wire fraud. If Anthony Davis ended up playing. He wasn't supposed to play, but he ended up playing in the game anyway, and the Lakers won. And Damon Jones said that Anthony Davis wasn't playing that game. And player number 4, they still listed it, but Anthony Davis ended up playing in the game anyway. But he was on the probable list on the injury report. And he had told people that Anthony Davis was out. So they betted against the Lakers and went with the other team. And Anthony Davis ended up playing. And they won. The Lakers won that game. So I wouldn't say AD committed wire fraud, but they saying even if he told, it's considered wire fraud. If they betted on it, it's wire fraud. And that's what he got charged with. So you just heard it from Tim Donnelly. LeBron is player number 3. It's going to come out that player number 3 is LeBron James. And LeBron James can be charged with wire fraud.
That the mob takes. A lot of times I've had a lot of the folks in the mob, on, and I've talked to Michael Francis on how closely they work with the NBA. in college. And remember back in the days with, UNLV, and you would hear stories about some of the guys in Vegas that would go to UNLV, and LJ and Stacey Ogman and Jerry Tarkanian. Of course, a lot of these were allegations. But what is the mob's approach when it comes down to NBA players? Why is it that a lot of the mob is tied and they target NBA? And by the way, this may open up to the NFL. Stephen A. Smith said that, they may be coming after the NFL. They may be coming after WNBA. What is the mob's approach when it comes down to working with the NBA?
Yeah, it's not just the NBA that it is. This is going to be widespread into other, professional sporting teams also. And, it's just a situation where, you're hanging out with the wrong people different times, and people are connected to the mob, and you get comfortable with somebody, you think they're your friend, and the next thing you know, they have something on you, or you're in an enormous amount of debt to them for some reason, and they have their claws into you, and they're going to put pressure on you to do things for them in regard to information, so that they can continue to make millions and millions of dollars. So in my situation, I remember I thought I was just going to give the guy the pics for 3 months and be done with it, and the FBI agent said they would have never released you. You were their golden goose, and if you would have stopped giving them the pics that they wanted, they would end up killing you. So the mob is the mob, and it's still prevalent in the United States of America. I know people think that it's not, but it's still working very, very hard.
Adam.
And there we go. I don't think LeBron has sciatica. No kidding. See, these papers was filed on October the 9th. And the NBA got federal agents working with them. So they know they were under investigation. They probably got LeBron sitting out while they try to get this investigation clear from him before they bring him back into the fold. Saying, hey, we're going to bring you back into the fold, but we just need some time. Let us get this thing together, then we'll bring you back in. Let us clear you of all this wrongdoing when all these raids are going down. Let's try to clear the table. Well, it might get to a point where LeBron has to part ways with Rich Paul and Clutch Sports. We don't know yet. Here's what I can tell you. What I do know, Rich Paul is a gambler. So, then you're a sports agent. That's not a good sign. So we're gonna see. Yeah, we'll see where it ranks at the end of the day. But yeah, that once that investigation came, now he's the number one fan for the team. No, Lakers number one. He might not have a choice. They're going to be like, well, it's either you or Rich Paul. They're going to be like, Rich, you my boy, man. Been a hell of a ride. Somebody got to go down, man. I can't go down. I'm the breadwinner, man. But you're my boy for life. I'm going to take care of you, man. You do these, what he get, 8 years? Oh, man, that's nothing. You ain't going to end up doing 8. You'll be out in like 5. Just do these 5. We got you, man. Ain't nothing but time, baby. Ain't nothing but time. I can't do it, but, I'm going to hold you down out here. Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. Anyway, man, I'm gonna get up out of here. We'll chop it up a little later, man. Don't forget to go to my Patreon, which is Carcino for Life. I got a funny skit of LeBron and Rich Paul talking about him going to jail. It's hilarious. Yeah, I haven't put that up yet. So y'all gonna crack up. Yep. Deuces. See y'all later.